You know what this is. You know who this is. I absolutely do know what's going on. Yes, very much so. I had to wait to get the information correct, but in the NBA, you have a difference in how things are being presented to you when it's being presented. Yes, it's been quite a quite an experience as far as everything that has been encountered and everything that's going on. Uh, in case you hadn't heard, Luka Doncic from the Los Angeles Lakers got injured on a play, and it made no sense to anybody whatsoever why this wasn't an offensive foul. But you're playing overseas, and you just signed a multi-million-dollar contract, and you're the face not only of the Los Angeles Lakers, but the entire league. That's a growing problem, one that you can't escape. I was like, man, I was like, this is gonna be crazy. The news, man. I was sad for Luca because he put in all this work to get in shape, and to have somebody just accidentally fall into you and injure your knee, that's they say it's bad luck. I don't think that's bad luck. That's just awful. That is absolutely awful. And to have that happen to you in that mode, that's bad, man. That's real bad. So, well, I can only give you an update as to what is going on here. Here's the update. Once Luca fell down, it was if you can see the play, the guy guarding Luca, fortunately for Luca, he was pushing Luca to the ground, and his teammate got bumped and was doing a flop move and fell right into Luka Doncic to try to sell an offensive foul, not seeing where Luka was, fell down on Luka's knee. He was so busy trying to sell the call, he didn't even check on Luka. Luka limps off of the court after sitting for a while after a knee contusion. His knee hitting the floor. It's typical of a knee contusion. It doesn't seem like he planted his leg and the guy hit it and really did some significant damage, but you really can't tell from that angle. It really looked like just a bruising of the knee. So he goes to the back, and this was in the third quarter. Then he comes back and sits down. He's kind of favoring the right leg of that as a contusion. then after the fact, you're going to have a difference of opinions and a difference in standards. Now, here's the difference in the standards. Luka Doncic wanted to come back in the game. That's what they was like. Luka wanted to come back in the game, and they wouldn't let him. So he gets off, he walks back to the locker room, still kind of favoring that right leg injury. Now, of course, team doctors from the Los Angeles Lakers are flying in to look at Luka's knee. They have the Euro tournament coming up. Now it's, will Luka even play? If I'm the Lakers, I'm not allowing Luka Doncic to get up to get a cup of water right now. So they're saying it's just a right knee contusion. There's nothing wrong with his knee besides that, and there's no need for alarm. And I'm here to tell you that report is fraudulent. That report is not true. It's a report made to keep people calm for now. They don't know if it's just a right knee contusion. He has to wait until he gets an MRI, which is going to happen on Monday. So they're going to give him an MRI to see if there's any other damage that has been done to his right knee. The Lakers physicians and all these people that's there, they have the top doctors, coming in to take a look at Luka's knee. So they don't know anything yet. So for them to put out, they're blocking your notifications, they're blocking a lot of people's notifications. I don't know if it was hyperextended at all. I think his knee just landed on the ground, and that caused all of this to happen. The flare-ups, everything. So by this plan happening in the format that is happening, people are stuck in this conundrum. Well, the problem that they have is that they committed so much to Luka Doncic. When you commit so much to one player, this is a huge blow, because this affects the whole promotional rollout. This is everything. They put everything into Luka and the Lakers. If Luka goes down, the Lakers are down. Then this is the promotional rollout for an MVP year for Luka Doncic. So everything's on the table. There's only a certain type of position other people can put themselves in where they could be looked at or regarded in a frame of mind of, oh man, this person's a star. This person's great. This person is outstanding. But when you don't put yourself or align yourself into those tropes, you've automatically set yourself back. And you don't want to be a person that sets yourself back so far, you'll never get forward. No, Luka is Luka. So if you see the situation getting to a point where it does not make any sense, you're seeing that a new standard or a new low has transpired yet again. The Lakers starting schedule has always been a joke. They always let the Lakers stay at home for about the first 3 weeks of the season so they can all be rested while everybody else is flying all around town. Now, why are they so concerned? Well, there's a lot of money and marketing built into Luka's team when he goes and joins Slovenia for this. This is like a warm-up game for the Euro League thing that's coming up that they're spending big money behind. And the fact that Luka coming to play for the country and this guy injuring Luka, that's huge. And Luka being one of the biggest stars to ever come from this country, you know, it's a problem. Some people say that the teammate was jealous of Luka and fell into his leg on purpose, trying to hurt Luka. I don't think that's the case. That they have different laws in that country, and for him to do something like that, to take that kind of a risk, that's not going to go well probably for that guy. Now, the gist of the matter is this. That team is not good. Okay, Luka's good, but the rest of the team is so-so compared to all the other teams in the league. Like, they're not better than Germany. They're not going to beat Germany. And as an overall team, Slovenia is just not a good team enough to beat these other countries. They're just not. Luka's really good, but it's only Luka. He's going to have, like, he had 26 in the third quarter today. It was, you know, he's going to be Luka. The rest of these players, that's where the dynamic changes. He said that's why I miss Jerry West. Here's the notion that most people don't see or understand is, where are all the other people at? Where are all the other people that had all of these, these inquisitions about the Los Angeles Lakers? Where are they at? I don't see any of them anymore. You used to be surrounded by people that show up every time a cat got stuck in a tree. If this was LeBron, oh my God, it'd have been on everywhere. But because it's Luka, they're being real careful. I told you, it's all about who they like. And if they don't like a certain person, Things are being operated differently. Well, I don't have a reason to be nervous. You know, Laker fans have a reason to be nervous. This affects their whole existence. If you're the NBA has a reason to be nervous. This affects everything they believe in. How it's laid out, how it's structured, how it's going to move going forward. Nobody else cares. They truly don't. Well, you got to look at it from other scenarios, right? That you might find this road is always cut off due to some rain or whatever. Always shutting this road down. You might find people that are like not in the know. You'll find people that's not nearly connected to the situation, or they want to move in a certain trope that don't sit well with everybody else. You got to deal with that. You know, you got to deal with it. You got to find a way to deal with it, because in reality, there is a major problem that's going on and has been for a very long time. Yeah, you get surrounded by a bunch of people who are, you talking about the Mavs are celebrating right now? No, they're not. They just trying to get through it the best way they can. But they don't know anything about Luka's right knee until they do an MRI, which is scheduled for Monday. So he's just to rest the knee, follow the procedures. The Lakers doctors are on a plane going over there to see what's going on with Luka's knee. Luka, how is Luka almost 30? He's not almost 30. Luka's only played 7 years. There's so much that people are missing in the equations. Is that, man, as times go by, what people say, that your standards change, your lifestyle change, and the way people feel about you change. These narratives are something that doesn't fancy the average civilian. It doesn't even fancy the average human being. So when you start seeing things that don't fit in the perspective of what your earnings are or what you're bringing in and what your net worth is and the people that don't care about your health, this is the NBA. Okay? And normally David Stern would have shut this down immediately. But this is bigger than that. There's too much money involved, even in this Euro tournament. You know, having Luka involved in this tournament is huge for them. Now, if the NBA is going to shut him down, let's say everything is, and we hope and pray it is for Luka, that he's not injured. Right? Now, what do? Do you let Luka continue to play? Said he's going to be good to go and play in a limited role for his country. If it's just a right knee contusion. Or do you let him come in and get ready for Lakers camp and get ready for preseason? And you know, that's the dilemma you're stuck with. And that's what happens when you go through these games. That's what happens when you get to these scenarios. That is not usually a situation you want to face, is when someone injures themselves. That's like, it's not like LeBron hurting himself in Drew League or something. Okay? This is a Euro tournament where he's from this country. So if you start seeing things that don't align with everything that you have built, then of course you're gonna have reservations about it. That's just how people roll. That's how the mentality is. So if the mentality is on that level, then, you know, you would have to pivot. Because if LeBron got hurt in Drew League, you know, he ain't playing another Drew League game. Don't nobody care. They can shut that down real quick. That holds no value. It holds some value to those who are supporting the Drew League and keeping the Drew League going on. But for everybody else, no. Well, think about it for a moment. If somebody came to you and said, well, this person, that person, and this person over here don't like you, how do you feel about that? You'd be like, well, damn, I guess I don't like them either. So that's normally an approach people would take. Is like, well, damn, if all these people don't like me for some reason, I don't know what I've done to them, but okay, I guess I don't like them either. So you can't really fault people for the way that they feel about situations in that way. You know, it's a difficult thing to embrace. I've had 6 to probably 7 different people tell me something opposite. Very opposite to what, you know, like you're relaying right now. So, yeah, it kind of flows in different directions. Yeah, it's very surprising that you see now NBA players who were born in the 2000s and they're in the league now. The children that was born in the year 2000 is now playing in the league. So that's a new, just surprise of we're really in the new millennium. Now, the majority of all of us will not see 2100. I think it's safe to say Cino won't be here in 2100. But then you never know. Makes me feel old. Oh, don't get mad about feeling old. Be appreciative. A lot of people that ain't here no more would have loved to have been your age. Would have loved to have just had another day. Be appreciative. The Lakers still making moves? Yeah, but here's the problem with these moves. They're basically flushing the toilet. They got a superstar team. You know how many first-round draft picks the Lakers have on their team, from Rudy Hachimura? I'm like, man, look how these people they got. They're paying $11 million for Gabe Vincent. They're paying another $11 million for another player who barely gets any playing time. So that's another one. There's just so much wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's so much wrong in the world that it don't even make sense. But Luka's extension, he gonna get like $54 million. LeBron's getting $52 million. So right there, you got $100 million tied up with two players. And believe me, they do not mind about Luka getting that money. Well, we got to think about the narrative that is the running narrative of the situation. Luka Doncic is considered one of the best players and looked at to be the MVP of this year going into this season. LeBron's about to be, 41 or 42? It's like, look, no one wants a 41-year-old basketball player being the guy down the stretch. No one wants to see it. It's a sad thing to see a guy who just don't want to get out of the spotlight. He's been drunk. He's been in this spotlight since he was 17 years old. All this attention. And people keep telling me what a nice guy he is. Like, you would love LeBron, man. You would really love this dude, man. It's just, you got to, you got to fix this, bro. Like, y'all got to really sit down and fix stuff, because you and LeBron, y'all would hit it off, bro. Like, he's really a good dude. I'll be like, based off what? From what I've seen of LeBron James, and good dude ain't got nothing to do with it. Him being a good dude is not even in the standings. I don't look at LeBron and see good dude. I look at his actions, and that tells me if somebody's going to be a good dude. And so far, I don't see good dude. Oh, now you doing the dictatorship thing? Yeah, we got fantasy football tomorrow, so we got to get all that kicked off. So, them putting out the statement saying it's a right knee contusion, that's all they can see right now because, the bruising, because that's what's there. He can walk on it and everything. So, it's not as severe as what people might be thinking. But they don't know until they get the MRI, which is scheduled for Monday. That's the real update on Luka Doncic. Other than that, they know nothing. All these people telling you that they know something, and no, the Lakers doctors are flying in, the specialists and everybody else that they sending in. They coming, should probably be there within the day. They were on the first thing smoking to go take a look at Luka's knee, and they'll make a decision on Monday if it's a contusion, he can still play in the Euro leagues. He might be through playing with what's that, Latafia or whatever. That might be done, but we'll find out more about it as we go through it. But so far, everything looks like it's good. I don't know if BMF is canceled. We're gonna do a BMF breakdown. I finally watched the last episode of the season, so we're gonna do a whole season breakdown, and we'll talk about the future of BMF. We might do I might go ahead and do a panel. So we'll see what happens on that, but I might do a panel. I wouldn't be smiling if you're a GM in Dallas. There's nothing to smile about for them because one, another player ran into him, so that could happen to anybody, and it's just a right knee contusion. But you got Anthony Davis on your team. This Mr. I'm going to miss 65 games and 30, 40 games. He's only playing a half a year and he's injured half of these times. That's Mr. Glass. Then basically your whole team was Mr. Glass because everybody was hurt on the Mavs. From Lively to Godwin or Goodwin. And then you got all the other players that was there. So they act like Luka was the only player hurt and was holding them up. And Kyrie goes down. So the whole Mavs team was hurt. Well, yeah, this is the NBA's future. The NBA future is Luka Doncic. So if Luka Doncic isn't doing what Luka Doncic does, then the whole situation doesn't make any sense. No, that's why it's called their narratives. They have that opinion. They have those narratives. I didn't make those narratives. No, it's about hard work, man. If you care about it enough, you know, that's all it is. Effort, skill, certain things that Luca learned as a young kid playing this game. it's footwork, placement, getting into your spots. And Luka's not the fastest guy on the court, but he's one of the smartest guys on the court. So it goes to show you that you could play the game at either speed. I played pickup games where these guys could jump out of the gym and dunk and all these stuff. But here's the thing. Unless you know their tendencies, what's going to happen to you is going to be academic at a certain point. Yeah, if I can get to my spots on the court, that's it. That's all I need is a look. If I can get a look and get the shot off, that's all I really need. So if I get a certain look or a certain right person on me, I'm used to playing with everybody taller than me. I'm 5'11", but majority of the people are 6 something, 6'4", 6'3". So I've learned to alter my shots to shoot more rainbow like. So it would go over those guys. See, when I was younger, I was like one of the tallest guys. I'm shooting over a guy maybe 6'1". But when you play pickup games against these guys that's playing in college, and everybody, you got a 6'10" guy jumping out at you, 6'7", 6'9", getting a shot off gonna be a little difficult. So you have to angle your shots different. So that's when I went to work on my shot. I was like, I gotta shoot more higher and let it drop. Because before I had more of a line drive shot. Like I'm shooting at the target. And I was like, I need to shoot up and make it like drop, like throwing like loops. Because the 6'10" guy be able to block it. So I gotta shoot high arcing shots. And once I started to master that, that's when my shot became like, I don't care who you bring out here. I'm finna rainbow y'all to death. That's when Kev Curry was born. You ain't kidding, buddy. Kev Curry. My release was quick, like Reggie Miller's, man. I had a quick release. Shoot, I played the whole game with one hand. I dislocated my thumb. My thumb kept getting dislocated because people swiping at the ball. And I'm double jointed in this thumb. See? That thumb is double jointed. This is how I could slip out of handcuffs. Because my thumb is easily, pops in and out of place. So, because of that, I could slip out of handcuffs. I used to just slip out of a handcuff like, and just make my hand like a snake almost and just slip out of the cuff. But I don't plan on ever being in cuffs in a situation where I got to do that. But once it gets hit and it gets dislocates and it goes all the way in and stuff like that, oh my goodness, it causes so much discomfort. And my thumbs start to swell up. The inside of my thumb started to swell. So I had to play with one hand. I was like, boom, 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 boom. Turn around, one hand shot off the glass. Dude, I'm dribbling with one hand, bringing it up. They sit in a double. I dish the ball off. I get it back, catch it one hand, scoop it, shoot, doing them in. I was like, I'm doing this with one hand, man. They was like, dog, he playing with one hand. And we still can't stop him. He hit free throws with one hand. It's easy. That's how much of the game, like, I was into the game. It was severe. Right. I ain't never got dunked on. period, because I'm staying glued to my defender to the point where they ain't got the range to take off. Now, people have dunked in transition, but you ain't finna go down there to compete and try to take them out the air. You'd be like, all right, boom, there you go, good dunk. All right, let's go. Go back down the court. See, I just hate playing pickup games with dudes that's one pass and then they gonna dribble all the way down the court and take the shot. Ain't no ball movement whatsoever. I'm like, look, dude, I understand you want to shoot and get shots up, but you are not playing the game. I can't be the only one setting picks out here. I'm the only one setting picks. Nobody else is doing anything. They just running around getting over. Hey, 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 I'm here, I'm here. I'm like, this dude here is trying to cross and go one-on-one. He don't even know how to get the ball to people. He don't know how to see if somebody's open. All this dude looking for is, man, it's crazy, man. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go, man. We'll sit down and chop it up a little later. All right, I'm out. Deuces.